Thai way of life to be far more relaxed, easygoing. It's all about sabai here, you know.
Actually, to be honest, go to job.
Sabai mai car.
For what you want and hi everyone, we're off this morning for a bit of a walk, get some exercise. It's one of the benefits of living here in Thailand is that in between rainy days we can enjoy these early mornings. Usually in the mornings it's cooler, so we can get up and have a walk. 26 degrees, the weather's very mild, but that's not to say that it won't heat up later this afternoon, which it normally does. Just passing a local building site here. Guys, we've got the guys here. They're doing a bit of work, getting the concrete ready. See in the distance there, that's the bottom of Doi Satep, and you can see the beautiful cloud just sitting there in the bottom of the foothill.
So we've arrived at the food court.
This is pork and rice. I like the stewed pork. It's really tender. It just melts in your mouth and pulls apart.
We started this channel as a travel, I guess, as a travel lifestyle for us, being, you know, over 60. And then we had the hiccup with the bike and the broken ankles, so we sort of haven't done a lot of traveling. We are planning on doing a lot more. We've got some trips coming up.
Okay, so let's talk about the 5 things, and these are not in any particular order, but these are 5 things that we've found to be amongst sort of things that we thought we'd struggle with, but probably we haven't. Number 1, becoming accustomed to Thai society. How do we feel about suddenly leaving Australia, coming here? It's been 10 months now. How do we feel about fitting in here? And I've had no problem fitting in here. Yes, there's differences, and there's always going to be differences. It's no different than arriving in any country and setting up a new life there. Of course, you're going to find differences, but nothing's a problem unless you're going to make it a problem.
Well, we found people are actually friendly, and we're going to compare to what we know, because that's all we can compare to where we live, which is Australia. And to be honest, I have found that people are so much more friendly, and I'm talking about Thai people more than Western people.
Oh yeah,
Thai
definitely.
people are more friendly than the Western people here.
Realize that something you've said hasn't been understood by them, then all you've got to do is to make yourself a bit more clear. Google Translate's been our best friend. Even things with Google Translate gets lost in translation, but I mean, what do? You just got to make the best out of it. They know that you're trying to communicate with them, they're trying to communicate with you. And once you realise that, once you switch your keyboard over in the conversation, it changes to the Thai letters on the keyboard, so they can type back to you in their language, and it converts back to English. So,
I mean, I've been to beauty salons, I've had my hair done, I've had nails, I even had my eyebrows done, touched up with a tattoo since I've been in, which I was really hesitant to have done. But the lady could speak lovely English, and actually, to be honest, she did a better job than what I've had in Australia.
Yeah, and you are fussy about things like that,
extremely fussy.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you've just got to look around for what you want and fit in with everybody. Farangs here that talk down to people, and it's disgusting to see it happen, to be honest. And you know, when you see some people that are just trying to be kind and nice, and somebody speaking in a demeaning manner to them or derogatory, it really makes me sick. But anyway,
so that's number 1.
So that's number 1.
We're getting accustomed to Thai society, and we feel like we're fitting in really well.
Yeah. Driving in traffic. So I know when I first started out driving in traffic here, it was a little bit awkward. It took me a little while, and coming from a country that could be notorious for road rage at times, in Australia, and people are intolerant of the way people drive in general. If somebody gets in your way or they're going slow or whatever, and, life may be happening at a faster pace, we tend to, well, I tend to, become irritable with people in the traffic. Well, I did. But,
You did.
yeah, but coming here, it's just taught me to chill, and there's a remarkable flow to traffic. There's two lots of traffic going on the road. One the motorbikes, and two cars. So if you're driving a car, you follow the car traffic. You pay attention to the motorbikes and where they are, but you mainly keep your eye on the cars. Motorbikes will take, the scooters will take care of themselves. And I think in general I adapted, once I got the hang of that, I adapted really quickly to driving in Thailand. So how about you, Lorna? Coming from a woman's perspective, you were a little bit afraid of driving initially.
I was very afraid of driving, and I don't want to make John sound like he was a bad driver, and she was a very good driver, but John's nerves on the road made me feel more nervy, and I wasn't that keen on driving. So I actually didn't drive for quite a while, okay?
My nerves are more intolerant.
So I observed him driving, and I watched and learned. I was more worried actually about getting lost. Because I didn't know the area. We had no clue. And
No.
and the car here, it doesn't have the GPS that we had in Australia in our car.
Sat nav.
The sat nav.
No.
It has the Google Maps that you hook up with your phone.
Yeah, everybody
So
drives just
everyone does that.
Yeah, put Android Auto or Apple CarPlay in the car and run on the Google Maps.
So I'm really used to looking at the map. I'm old school, and I used to have the Refidex back in Australia, and I'd look in the book and work out the way. So, and obviously living in a city for most of my life, I lived in Brisbane from 1966 in the Gold Coast, so I knew the place backwards. So coming here, everything was completely overwhelming, but I've learned how to use the Google Maps now from watching John. And what got me to drive was when he broke his foot. He broke his ankle. I had to drive. That was the only way we were going to get around, obviously. The first time we went to the hospital, we went in a grab when you had to check in for your surgery. And I got a grab back because I was worried about getting lost going home, and it was just on dusk, it was getting dark. So, but after that, the next day I drove in to visit you.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was the first time because I'd looked at the area and I worked out how to get there. And now I'm driving, I feel really confident. I've worked it out because in Australia, it's like give way to the right. But here, everyone gives way to whatever is in front of you.
Yeah.
So it works out really well because if I'm struggling to get into a traffic lane, you just drive into the traffic lane slowly and everyone stops and lets you in, and there's no beeping and there's no road rage. There's none of that. And so when you stop at traffic lights here, the traffic light is on red for about nearly 5 minutes.
Yeah, or
and
longer.
At first we're thinking, oh my God, why is it stopped so long? This is crazy, what's wrong? But now we've realised that they all stop for about 5 minutes, and that gives the traffic ahead time to go over to the next lot of traffic lights, so that when you actually go, the road's clear. It's like there's no one on the road. No. And that's even better on the Harley, because the Harley has got such power. We're like, boom, we're gone, we beat all these scooters. Yeah. So the other issue with me driving was parking. I was worried about parking, especially if we went into the city. But we've been in there now a couple of times in the car, and we've parked, and we've realised it's not that big a deal. There are no big car parks like there are in Brisbane, where you pay, you go underground or whatever, and that used to charge, what does it charge in Brisbane for the day? Or maybe it's probably $40 now a day, I don't know. But they don't seem to have them, not in Chiang Mai. They may have those in Bangkok, but this is just a large country town really. So parking is as it used to be in Queensland, in Brisbane especially. You just park anywhere, and you can park going down that road that way or going the other way. It's like England, it doesn't matter. how you park your car. But they do have a rule, and they have signs up, but they're in Thai, that you can only park your car on a certain side of the road on a certain day.
Odds and evens.
Odds and evens, and we got caught out because we didn't know, we didn't read the sign. It was in Thai. So we actually got our wheel clamped
Yeah.
when we came out of a restaurant, and there was a clamp on the wheel, and that was, oh my God. But the guy had left, the parking man had left a ticket on the windscreen.
Yeah.
And we called his number, and he came within like a minute.
Yeah, so
on
in other
his
words,
bike.
he'd slapped the clamp on the car and just driven around the corner and thought, right, they'll be here soon. I've seen the car there for the last hour or so. Clamped it, and then he's just parked locally, and he makes
He was
the
he
government.
was a traffic policeman, wasn't he?
Yeah, he makes the government a quick $8 or something. I think it was.
I think it cost us, was it $8?
Yeah, I think it was $200 or something.
Something like
But
that. And he was quite pleasant. And we both now have Thai driver's licenses. So that was like, he was surprised that because we're foreign, we had Thai driver's licenses. We're
Yeah,
local.
he was happy with
He
that.
was really happy with that. So there's no, I don't know if you lose a point or whatever.
No, you don't.
I don't think
No.
that's the driving. We're finding it okay. Especially me at my age, I'm driving Chiang Mai. No big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 3, acclimatizing to the
Yeah.
temperature, to the
Okay,
atmosphere.
so I'm a Kiwi that's lived in Queensland for 20 years, or close enough to 20 years. Coming here to Chiang Mai, I was really surprised. I thought that, well, we're going to suffer from the heat for at least 12 months to 2 years. Well, I found that we fitted, well, I did anyway. I acclimatised here quicker than what Lorna did. And the heat doesn't bother me. We're sitting here this morning, it's probably 26, 27 degrees or something. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. And the humidity's probably up around 80%, but it feels cool. Mind you, we've got a big fan in here, but it feels cool. And we walk down here, and I didn't even crack a sweat walking down here. So the only time it did get hot was sort of March, April, and May, into early May. It did get hot. It was like probably 8 to 10 weeks of 40-degree heat. And that's when we rode to Khao Yai and down to Hua Hin, and it was 40 degrees plus. The temperature was saying 38, but you've always got to put a factor on that here of about 4 or 5 degrees. So we were in the low 40s, and it was hot. But once that weather passed, I found that the second half of May, we got down to the weather was reasonably cool. Well, it got back to 33.
Well, it's still warm, but I mean, really, when you come to a tropical climate, you have to accept that, hey, it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
It's like Darwin weather in Australia.
Yeah.
But we do have the air conditioning on a lot in the house, and when we go out, we have the air conditioning in the car. And we're careful when we walk that we don't get too overheated. We certainly don't want to end up with heat stroke.
No.
We have a lovely swimming pool that we jump in, and that really cools you down. So we're coping with the weather, and it's fine. I'm finding it's okay.
Yeah. So, if you don't handle the heat well, then,
Probably not for you.
Yeah, if it's too hot in the kitchen, as they say, get out, But if you can handle the heat okay, say in Queensland, and you're going to handle it fine here. Or if you like warm Australian summers, if that's your thing, then you're going to feel great here.
Yeah, I mean, when we lived in Brisbane and the Gold Coast, you wouldn't go walking down the hot, pavement walking at midday, 1 o'clock,
No.
2 o'clock in the afternoon. It will be just too hot. So it's the same here. You just don't go walking around when it's the hottest part of the
No,
day.
they don't have sealed bitumen roads here, which tends to keep things. There are sealed bitumen roads, but
Not as
majority of them are concreted, so they don't seem to hold the heat as much as what a bitumen road does. So yeah, it's a little bit easier walking on the streets themselves.
But the beauty I find is if you do go out, especially in the afternoon, no matter what time of the year, you never need to take a jacket or a cardigan or anything, thinking, oh my God, if you get cold, I better take a jacket. You just don't need a jacket. You don't need warm clothes here at all. Even if you go in an air conditioning shop or if you go to a restaurant, yes, they have air conditioning on, but you won't need a jacket because the air conditioning is not as cold as what they have it on in Australia.
No.
So you don't need that. And talking about the heat, when it was the Smoky season, that's when we went down to Khao Yai. It was in the Smoky season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it is hot around that time, March,
April and the early part of May.
March, April, May, they're the 3 months of the year that probably are the hottest, and they are smoky. But let's go into now number 4, the smoky season, because a lot of people, they talk about the smoky season.
Yeah,
I mean, you know.
I mean, I don't mind them. You know, I don't mind people saying, "I'll stay away from Chiang Mai in the smoky season." But really, the reality of it is, if you live anywhere where there's fires, and even on the Gold Coast, they had burn-offs in the winter there. We used to have ash regularly around the house or in the pool. I'd be finding it there in the mornings, and that's what occurs here. The smoke tends to sit a bit more over Chiang Mai because it's in a basin surrounded by hills, and it lingers. And unless there's some wind or rain, it stays there and it builds up in concentration. Now that's not for everybody, but the vlogs we've seen putting down the smoky season here in Chiang Mai, we thought we were going to be wearing gas masks, you know, like honestly, yeah, gas masks.
That's what they make it
Yeah,
out. Like
and,
you can't even go out of your door because you're going to be like overwhelmed with smoky.
Yeah, and you're going to be, you know, yeah, sure, it can have detrimental effect to you, but
well, if you have a health problem.
that's right. In our house, we haven't bought one. We haven't had to buy one air filter.
We haven't got air filters.
We haven't got air filters in our house. Call us foolish, but
We have air
you know,
conditioning.
we just don't. We didn't bother with it.
We haven't been coughing, we haven't had stinging eyes.
No.
We could not smell the smoke in the air. There is no smell.
No, not to us anyway.
Not to us. And I mean, I've got a really heightened sense of smell, and I have had sinus problems for many, many years.
Yeah, you
and
should have
I've
worked
never,
for the police on drug detection.
I've never had such a good, you know, my sinuses are great since I've been here. I haven't had a problem.
No.
We've only had 2 colds when we first got here, probably from the plane.
Yeah, no, I think
And
too
then-
that was just getting used
and
to
we
the
were
local
probably
viruses that were around
A
up
little
here.
bit worn out.
Yeah.
From all everything that we did before we left. But
Apart
no,
from that, we've been good.
I mean, I wouldn't advise people to come here in the smoky season, mainly if you have a health condition,
Yeah,
if you have a lung condition,
bad asthmatic or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. It could be
or if you have
compromised.
emphysema or something. I would say don't come that time of the year. There's plenty of other times of the year, like now, you can come and the air is beautiful.
Yeah, I was driving into the city the other day, and there's a board that sits over, not far from where we are today, there's a board that sits over the highway, and it's got a face on it that's either green or orange or red that warns you of the AQI. So the other day we were driving and it's on green. So they're saying that the air quality here is good, and you can see a long distance.
Oh yes.
But anywhere you go in Asia, you can expect to see haze or smoke in the air at a distance. So,
I mean, India is what are you going to call it? Smoky?
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah.
Well, every month of the year, India has this haze.
yeah, we've travelled through New Delhi,
Mumbai.
we've stayed in Mumbai
Yeah.
for a couple of weeks, we stayed in Delhi. So yeah, the air quality there, again, that didn't seem to bother us, didn't bother me too much.
Well, they
didn't
don't
bother you.
report on that like they do here in Chiang Mai. It seems like they make a really big deal out of it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just part of life here. It's not going to deter us from living here.
No.
We may travel next year when that time of the year, March, April.
Yeah, mainly to avoid the heat. If anything, we were actually probably going to travel somewhere more closer to the ocean. That's because we won't talk about where we're going yet. We'll leave that to be shown in a later vlog. But
We've got some trips planned.
yeah, we've got some trips planned, and yeah, we just want to have a look around, and that's a good time of year to do it. Why not? You can get on a plane, you can be a couple of hours away, you can be in a totally different climate, albeit it'll still be warm, but it'll just be a little bit more pleasant in terms of the heat. We'll get back probably in time to experience a bit of the heat, but then it'll only be for a few weeks instead of 8 to 10 weeks of it. So
Smoky season, so the last one.
yeah, last but not
Right.
least, and I'd say this is important for a lot of people because a lot of people come to Thailand or to other Southeast Asian countries and immediately they're on alert. They're worried about their safety, they're worried about personal safety, they're worried about the safety of their personal items. How would you view personal safety in Thailand?
Well, I wouldn't say there's a problem. I think it's extremely safe, especially for a woman. I mean, you wouldn't want to go down through the city looking down an alley that's dark at night. No one.
That's anywhere in the world.
That's anywhere in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
But I could walk. We can walk around our neighbourhood at night with a torch, and it's
Yeah.
safe. We don't even need to lock our door at night, but we do.
When we
But,
first bought our house,
you know?
when we first bought our house, the whole house was fully furnished, right? And it was just left unlocked for days, weeks at a time. Anybody could come and go from that house. In Australia, you'd be lucky to have an appliance left in it after leaving it like that for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And that's not saying that everyone's thieves, but there's business to be made. And here, we were told, look, you can leave your wallet on the table, and I believe that now. You can walk away and you can leave $1,000 crash helmet sitting on your bike over the moor here. You could go quite a few blocks away, come back and your helmet will still be there. You could leave a wallet, your sunglasses and a cell phone sitting on the table, turn your back on it, walk down, order food in this food court and come back and your phone and your personal belongings will still be there. That's the level of honesty amongst people here. It's really outstanding.
It's amazing. It really
Yeah,
is.
and most places like this you're being watched constantly, and I think it's not you're being watched because somebody wants to do something bad towards you or whatever. They're actually watching out for your safety and they're caring about you.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Yeah.
And you can walk in the city. You can walk around the markets. And you don't have to have all your wallet or your purse hidden somewhere.
No.
You can have it in your bag. No one is going to take your phone or your wallet or your purse. There's no pickpockets or thieves wandering around.
No.
It's just so safe. It's freer. That's what I think.
Yeah, I've seen people drop valuable items, ties, and drop some valuable item like a bit of money on the footpath or something, and I've called on them and said, hey, you've dropped something, and they're really, really thankful that I pointed that out to them. And they would do the same. I feel that they would do the same for me. No problem, no worries.
Yeah, no, safety, it was a big factor, and that was another reason. There was many reasons why we left the Gold Coast, and I think what we'll do is to vlog just on the reasons why we left in a future video. But one of them was the crime, the youth crime that's happening in Queensland.
Well, it's Australia in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even our neighbourhood where we lived in Helensvale, I believe the youth crime has escalated since we've left. And we were fortunate that we were never actually burgled. But I think that was because there was always someone home because we worked from home.
But we had
And we had a dog.
but we had an attempted burglary on our house
We did
there
have
where
one,
someone
yeah.
tried to prize coming through the one of the back doors there. But after that, I cameraed the house. We had no problems. But again, it's happening there all the time. The walk in your house, the stealth, stealth creeping in your house stealthily to get your keys while you're out the back just having a barbie with your friends. You just don't worry about that here.
We have not found that here at all. The youth crime,
There is none.
there is none. The youth here are busy. They're working with their families. Most of the young men have been just monks. They become a monk for about 3 months.
And also they have compulsory military training here at about 18 to 20. They're doing some compulsory military training.
Yeah, there was 5 issues there, things that we've noticed, and most of them are positive. It's all positive.
Yeah. Like any negatives that I've encountered here, I could, for every one negative, I could list 5 positives about that negative. So,
Exactly.
I've really, for the foreseeable future, Thailand's our home. And
Yeah. So let's wind this up now, and we thank you for watching us. Please keep watching. There's lots more to come. We're only just getting revved up, not only us but the bike.
Yep.
And we'd like to thank all our subscribers so far. We've got quite a few people that have joined, that are following us.
You do mean a lot to us for subscribing and following us. It makes us feel that what we're doing is
valuable.
Is of value to some people. And don't forget, put a comment below and
please comment and let us know what you think.
Yeah,
if you have some questions, please ask in the comments. We'd love you to.
Yeah, if you've got
communicate with us.
Yeah, it's always great to read your comments, whether they're positive or negative.
We'll leave it there, and
we're
we'll
happy
say goodbye in Thai. How do you say it? Kapkum Ka.
Sabadi Mai. Ka. That lady is our local street sweeper. She's here every day and she sweeps all of this road with a broom.